Knuckleball Nation, this is a video mechanical assessment of Nick Wolfe up in the Boston, Massachusetts area. Nick has been working on his knuckleball for a long time now, and he's attended a few Knuckleball Nation events up in the Northeast. So Nick already knows a thing or two about delivering the knuckleball, but we're going to break his mechanics down here a little bit further. There are three things that I can see that Nick can do a little bit better here that will increase the efficacy of his knuckleball. This profile view is perfect for the first adjustment that I think Nick can make. Watch his transfer of weight carefully. It's almost as if he's walking toward the plate and he just so happens to be throwing a baseball at the same time. To deliver a quality knuckleball every time, we need to keep our body weight back and over the rubber. Nick's first move out of the stretch should actually be to shift his weight backwards. Take your center of gravity and shift it an inch or two back over the rubber. Now, what Nick does really well is he keeps his back leg in a strong position throughout his delivery. This means that if you draw a straight line from his back hip to his back foot, you see that his knee is outside of that line at a slight angle. This allows you to delay hip rotation and send your body's energy straight into the knuckleball and at the strike zone. Once your knee dips inside of this line, your hips rotate. And if your hips rotate too early, you lose power and control. Now, Nick posts up on a strong back leg, but unfortunately, his body weight walks towards the plate a little bit too early. Let's watch Wakefield at full game speed. His first move is shifting his gravity back towards second base. And what he's going to do is keep his weight back there for as long as he can. And this is an uncomfortable position to be in, especially with that strong back leg, as you gain momentum down the hill. Wakefield's back leg is in a good position, just like Nick's. But what Wakefield is doing at an elite level is keeping his weight back over the rubber. His center of gravity is over the rear of his body even as he gains momentum down the mound. He is making an effort to keep his head over the rubber for as long as possible. And while your head will move forward, it will stay behind your zipper so long as you stay loaded on your backside. We stay back because our hand needs to beat our chest in order to get into the proper release position every time. If we simply walk toward the plate and throw, the ball may not get out in front of our chest at release point, causing spin and frustration. So, how do we get off our loaded backside properly? It's simple. We throw off that loaded backside. We want the ball to be the very thing that transfers the weight from your backside to your front side. The moment that the weight transfers due to the ball being thrown is your release point. Your back half will then launch at the plate, throwing your entire body weight at the target. Which brings us to the next adjustment that Nick can make. Front leg drive. Let's watch this super slow-mo delivery again. Notice he keeps his leg back, and the ball is what transfers his weight from his back leg to his front leg. Now watch his front leg straighten out or drive backwards as the weight of his backside catapults at the target. Studies show that front leg drive is incredibly important for velocity, but it takes a lot of leg strength in order to stop your momentum going down the hill. It works by pushing your front hip backwards, which has an equal and opposite reaction with your back hip, which is shot forward. It also gives you a force to throw against, which should make it easy to find your release point. Getting back to Nick here, you can see that his front leg kind of drifts. This allows your upper body to drift, which can change your release point. The third adjustment that Nick can make is most visible from this vantage point. There are a lot of things I like about his delivery from this vantage point, including the fact that he doesn't get a whole lot of contralateral tilt. Contralateral tilt happens when a right-handed pitcher leans towards first base in order to gain momentum. Studies show that it works for conventional pitchers, but as knuckleball pitchers, we want to be balanced, just like Nick here. Contralateral tilt, which would look something like this, is something to be avoided for knuckleballers. Nick also does a good job of staying balanced throughout the delivery. You can see that his head stays over his front leg, or inside of it, even after finishing the pitch. His head never strays over to the first base side of his line to the target. Now, Watch his delivery again, and if you can imagine him balancing a small Dixie cup of water throughout his delivery on the top of his head, then he has done his job. I see him throwing around his body just a little bit, which may be imparting some spin on the ball. I believe Nick would benefit from landing on a straighter line to the target with his front foot. If this is your foot on the rubber, you don't want your front leg to land so closed in relationship to it. You can even go so far as Wakefield's 90-degree landing. If you line your heels up at 90 degrees, you get your bearing on where your front foot should land. If landing that open doesn't work for you, at least try to land somewhere lined up with your back foot. This will allow your arm a straighter path to the target, and it won't have to rotate around your body, which could impart spin on the ball. So those are the 3 tips for Nick. Stay loaded and throw off your backside, making sure the ball is the very thing that transfers your weight from the back leg to the front leg. Try to get a little bit of front leg drive in order to stop your momentum down the hill after you throw off your loaded backside. And perhaps tinker around with landing a little bit more open so you don't have to throw all the way around your body. The video mechanical analysis that you're seeing today is available at knuckleballnation.com. I'm Chris Nowlin, a professional knuckleballer tutored by Charlie Hough alongside RA Dickey and taught by Hall of Famer Phil Niekro. All you have to do is upload videos of you pitching to YouTube, 3 minutes or less. I'll take over from there and create a personalized instructional video. I'll share with you tips from the pros so that you can become the next great knuckleball pitcher.